Well. Good morning, kids. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing fine. Welcome to another episode of The Abyss. I am, of course, your host, The Eternal Abyss. I have my coffee. I hope you have yours too. What's up? Uh, Hold on. I'm still getting myself situated here because this is a professional show, right? Now, I do have my coffee, as I said, so that's good enough for me. Um, I mean, if we don't have that, we're on a very bad start. What? Oh, I was just trying to figure out why the heck my chat looks different. I was goofing around with Streamlabs, and apparently it added something to my chat, so I have no clue. Added some bot, I guess. I don't know. Um, there we go. Now I hear myself better. My headphones were not plugged in properly. That will make a difference. Now, will it? So here we are, and it is a Tuesday. And of course, there's always something to talk about, always news items, always idiocy that keeps reigning on this planet. So we're going to dive right in, basically. But before we do, obviously, I want to say hello to everybody on all the different platforms that I'm on. Hello to everybody on Bitwave. Hello to everybody on YouTube, on Twitch, on D Live, on Float. And I'm forgetting one platform. See, I'm on too many platforms. When you start forgetting what platforms you're on, whoopsie. I'm hearing a double audio in my head here. All right, here we go. Got rid of that. Good. Like I said, I'm probably forgetting one platform, and I don't know why I'm forgetting that one platform. What did I say? Oh, Periscope. Of course. Duh. Yeah, I'm forgetting. Hello, everybody on Periscope. Yeah, let's not forget them. Obviously not. But here we are, and latest trends and news of the day and things that were going on yesterday after the stream. We're going to talk a little bit about Dr. Seuss. Today is the independence anniversary of the independence of Texas when they were a republic. Interesting, right? Excuse me 1 second. Always when I'm on the microphone, my sinuses are like, "Hey, I want attention." Never freaking fails. Like I said, we're a professional show. Oh, good lord. I was actually trying to figure out this morning, if anyone's interested, I was actually trying to figure out this morning if there was some good websites where you can see like trends, because the Twitter algorithms for what's trending are so heavily manipulated that I don't know exactly how accurate those trends are. That's the problem, because they keep changing. I've seen stuff that is like, oh, this is like one of the top trends, and it just disappears. Or vice versa, there's trends that don't even make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know. I wanted to see if there was some website out there that would keep track of all the stuff that's trending. I don't know why Al Franken is trending. Saw that Al Franken is trending. I guess maybe because it has to do with Cuomo. And some people are still defending Al Franken, apparently. I think I think when it comes to Al Franken, I don't know. Because you have a lot of people that I've seen two sides of the argument when it comes to Al Franken. A lot of people say, well, that's proof that the Democrats hold their own people accountable. Well, no, I don't view it that way. And a lot of people say that Al Franken shouldn't have resigned as well. You have people defending Al Franken. So, and the Al Franken thing is a mess, and to me, it's kind of dumb to bring it up in this situation. I don't know. I'm just making a quick commentary on that because I saw that he was trying to see, like, my trends just changed again. Like they keep changing. I don't know what's going on with these trends, and some of these trends I don't see. They don't make a whole lot of sense to me, anyways. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, that's why I was trying to see if I could find something that's a bit better. So I don't know. I really don't know. But anyways, moving on here. I want to talk a little bit about the stuff that I wanted to talk about here. Oh. What in the world? That should not be showing. Why is that showing? Jeez. There's a nice little snafu there. See, I haven't started drinking my coffee. But it's okay. It's not like I showed there's anything on my screen that was inappropriate, so... Jeez. I gotta be more careful about that stuff, huh? No, but anyways, you know, the one of the biggest news items that's been coming out since yesterday, and a lot of people have been talking about this, is Dr. Seuss. Now, everybody read Dr. Seuss when you were a kid. Everybody did. I remember I read Dr. Seuss. They're at pretty much every dentist office that I could remember going to, and when I was a kid, it was everywhere. So it's basically was like a staple of growing up. You would read Dr. Seuss. You would read Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham. Are You My Mother? Things like that. You know, you would read all that all the time. And now all of a sudden, Dr. Seuss is a book non grata. It's racist. It's racist. Give me a break. Everything is racist, yeah. Everything is always racist. See, this is the thing. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Like I said, my sinuses they won't leave me alone. So, here's the thing. I remember hearing about this kind of stuff before. This isn't the first time that this has been brought up. Dr. Seuss they've tried to cancel Dr. Seuss before and it was unsuccessful. Because I'm old enough to remember several years ago when someone brought up this stuff, because I read the articles on it. I think it was a BuzzFeed article that talked about it or something like that. I don't remember exactly the source. Oh, wait, let me check something. Oh, okay, it's working. I didn't see the little green circle around the DLive icon there for a second, so I got confused. I thought something went wrong. But I remember a long time ago, not a long time ago. I remember relatively a short time ago actually that this sort of thing was tried before. This isn't the first time that they tried this. No, negatory morning glory. But now they actually have traction on this because now you have the media backing them on it. You have idiots like the dictator pedophile that we have in that's been installed in the White House saying, "Oh, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to you know." Hello, troll. Uh you made me see my train of thought just derailed just because I was saying damn it. Um oh no, what I was saying, like you have idiots like Biden saying, "Oh, he's not gonna." They removed basically Dr. Seuss from the list of their, day of reading or whatever it's called, the thing that they promote reading. Dr. Seuss was a commie. It's actually good to get rid of all those shit books. Dumb bunnies. That's some good shit. That's some funny shit. Nah, it's okay, troll. Don't worry. It's because I haven't had enough coffee yet. It's not you. It's me. Well, listen. I'm not saying that Dr. Seuss is intellectually stimulating, and I'm not saying that Dr. Seuss is what every child should read to be a well-formed child. All I am saying is, and there very well may be. Okay, there very well may be some questionable content and questionable materials in his repertoire, right? All I am saying is this. Of all the generations of kids that have read Dr. Seuss, can someone please show me some sort of correlation? Can someone please show me some sort of data that would actually indicate that reading The Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham or some other bullshit like that, does that actually do anything? I mean, in the sense that if I read Cat in the Hat and I start it and I end it, and as soon as I read the last page, all of a sudden I'm a raging racist. But he is a pedophile. I don't use words just to use words. I mean, if you've seen the amount of videos of him groping children, tweaking their nipples, sniffing them. I mean, and also he stopped Trump's program that hunted. I just told you how he's a pedophile. He gropes children. He rubs his crotch on them. He talks about how he loves having kids jump on his lap. He sniffs them. He tweaked a little girl's nipple. There's pictures of his son with underage kids too. And he stopped Trump's program that went after sexual predators, including pedophiles. So, hey MZ, how you doing? So, listen, I may not have hard proof that I may not have him actually pictures or videos of him actually like engaging in sex acts with kids. So, but there's enough videos and photos out there and stuff that he's said and done. You can make an educated conclusion that that's what he is. Or at least that he leans towards pedophilic behaviors. I don't know. Maybe he's not a full-fledged pedophile. I have no idea. Oh yeah, it's all over the place. All over the place. Maybe one day we'll do an episode dedicated to Biden and his pedophilic ways, and we'll just show everything. We'll do a complete stream dedicated to him. And we'll just show I'll try and hunt down every single photo that I can find of him, every single video that you've seen. There's all these compilations on YouTube, by the way. It's not just grooming. Pedophiles are people that have a sexual preferences for prepubescent individuals. They get off on kids. Kids is what turns them on, and they want to do sexual things with kids. Well, listen, Joe Biden is a pedophile. Like I said, I don't use those words lightly. I just calls them how I sees them. Oh, who knows what he does off screen? Who knows what he does off screen? I have no idea. But he seems to be perfectly okay with his son being a pedophile as well, because his son. There's actually photos and videos of with the whole laptop. There's actually photos of his son naked with underage girls. I'm not a mind reader, but I have a pair of eyes. And if I see a grown-ass man tweaking the nipples of a young child that is under the years of 6 and groping them, I mean, you're really out of the loop if you haven't seen any of that. I think tweaking a nipple and groping a child is sexual in nature. I would never do anything like that, because I have no interest in touching children in a sexual manner. Unlike Joe Biden. He apparently does. So, I mean, you realize that right now that you're defending someone who's touched children inappropriately. Just saying. You do realize that. But anyways, the point that I was making wasn't about that. He tweaked a child's nipple. He said inappropriate things to them. Even if he puts his hands on their shoulders, he's rubbing them and touching them inappropriately. Just because it's on a non-sexual organ, it doesn't mean that it's appropriate 100% of the time. You can touch someone's shoulder inappropriately. Well, anyways, listen, if you want to die on that hill, like defending a pedophile, be my guest. I mean, it's up to you. Go for it. It's of a little girl. And it's disgusting as hell. Oh yeah, there's this picture of a woman. I think the wife of some congressman or something. I don't know. And he actually cops a feel. He actually gropes the woman's breast too. No, having a child sit on your lap doesn't make you a pedophile. But if you're rubbing your crotch on the child as a grown-ass adult, and I haven't seen anything about him saying that. I haven't seen any videos or photos of him like with children sitting on his lap. Well, listen, the point is he's a creep, and there's plenty of videos and photos out there. I mean, when Jeff Sessions has to slap his hands away because he was trying to get his hands on one of his nieces or something like that in a photo thing, and Jeff Sessions had to slap his hands away, that's telling. He did do that to young children. He groped young children. There's no argument here. You're defending a pedophile. Or at worst, you know, well, okay, maybe if you don't want to use that word, you're definitely dealing with a child predator, one way or another. Excuse me, got the hiccups here. If you don't want to use that specific word, he's definitely touched children in inappropriate sexual ways. So, listen to me. If you touch kids in a sexual way that's inappropriate, I call it. Listen, if you quack like a duck, you act like a duck, you walk like a duck, you look like a duck, I'm gonna call you a duck. He said, okay, fine. I'm going to call it for what it is. If you want to pretend it's not what it is, then that's up to you. He's a pedophile. Nobody normal does that. No, the grooming aspect is only part of it. You have to have that desire. The desire is what makes you a pedophile. No, I'm calling it for what I see it. I'm not repeating stuff I heard. I saw those videos. I've seen those compilations. I've seen the photos. Anybody with a brain would look at that and say that is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, the hand slaps. Sessions slapped his hands away because he was trying to grope his, like, I think it was his niece or granddaughter or something like that. He was reaching out for her, and Sessions had to bitch slap his hands away. I can make enough of an educated guess. I mean, when you consistently grope children, that shows me that you have and you say you like having children jump on your lap, and you like having children touch you. Sessions may be also creepy, but I haven't seen video after video after video after video. Okay, child molester. Fine, let's call him a child molester then. Yeah. But you don't know what the definition of a pedophile is then. If that's your definition of a pedophile, that grooming is the key aspect of it, then you're way off base anyways. But anyways, I'm not going to derail my little thing here. I want to go back on topic. Though this is part of the charm of my show. I start arguing with people on my chat. No, but anyways, moving on. The point is this about Dr. Seuss, because we were talking about Dr. Seuss, and the only reason why I brought up the child molester, then, if that's more, if that fits your sensibilities better, is because the white guy, that's the funny thing to me. The white guy says, "Oh, we're not gonna add Dr. Seuss to the list of Read Across America or Read a Reading Day or whatever the reading program is that they promote." I don't even know what the program is, but you have the white guy saying that. You had Michelle Obama reading Dr. Seuss to kids. You had Barack Obama not doing anything about this, but somehow it's the white guy that has to come to the rescue. So I just find that funny. I find it hilarious that these you have these liberal white people who think they have to come to the rescue of black people. See, as a black person, if I was a black person, I'd be very insulted by that, to be honest with you. That these white people feel like they need to step in and rescue like little old me. What? I don't know how to defend myself? What, you think I'm too stupid? No, you don't have to. Hold on. Let's go back to this pedophile thing because this is getting out of hand. You don't have to act on a desire to be what that desire makes you. First of all. So to say that the only time someone's a pedophile is when you actually act on it, or you're a child well, when you are a molester, yes. If you molest someone, that's when you are a molester. If you don't molest someone, you have that desire. You're a sexual deviant. And if your desire is towards children, that makes you a pedophile. Biden has consistently over time, over and over and over, touched young people inappropriately, said inappropriate things to them. I mean, he's touched everybody inappropriately. So, in that sense, he's just a sexual. He just sexually molests everybody. He's a sexual predator in general. And apparently, according to Tara Reid, he's also a rapist. So, I mean, take your pick on whatever title you want to give him. He has pedophilia tendencies. Absolutely, MZ. That's the one. Yeah, that bottom photo. Bottom left. You know what? Let's put this on the screen. Since we're talking about this now, my stream became all about Joe Biden being a pedophile. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm game. Why not? Hold up. Give me 2 seconds here because I want to make sure that it's not like... Is there more to that than just that one image? Oh, not so much. There's a couple things here, yeah. But, I mean, he's inappropriate with people in general. Especially with kids. Let me put this up on the screen. We're going to put this up on the screen here. I want to make sure it's cropped because I'm always cropping my stuff here. So I want to make sure that it's showing. So give me 2 seconds and... I got to adjust this. Now let's get rid of the scroll bar. We don't need the scroll bar. 2 seconds. Let's get rid of all the stuff on the left because we don't need it. All right, rock and roll. Here we go. Ta-da! There is your wholesome Uncle Joe. There we go. See, hold on. Let me do something because the elbow is kind of covering the one that I was talking about, that one in the lower left corner. So let me do this. I will put it above the shoulder. There. So, in the lower left corner, specifically in the lower left corner is the one that I was talking about, where you have that lady with the green and yellow sash. Right next to that one, there's a girl with a little red and black dress. Okay. The light-haired girl, it's not blonde or anything, but like a light brown hair, black top, red bottom. Well, that works. I mean, the point is this. Is that... Oh, hold on. I may need to move this down a little bit now that I'm thinking about it. Hold on. Yeah, it's a little cut off at the top. I didn't realize I cut it off at the top there. There we go. Now that's showing the full image. So, I mean, you want to tell me that that video, that one in particular, is where he's tweaking that little girl's nipple. Okay? And on the lower right, the second from the left, trying to kiss children, groping them, touching them, nuzzling them, smelling them. The one at the top left corner, nuzzling the baby like that. Who does that? Who does that? Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of videos of that. I've seen plenty of people of children and adults. He's trying to go and nuzzle or kiss or sniff them, and they recoil. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, the redhead girl, with like the dark dress. Oh yeah, and he keeps trying to kiss her. You know, at best he's a sexual predator. At best he's a molester. He's just a pervert. At best. At worst, the way he's been I have never seen any normal person tweak nipples of children. That's your kid. That's different. That has nothing to do with anything. Listen, there is a repeated pattern of behavior here. Whether you want to see it or not, because I don't know if you like Biden or not, that's up to you. My family situation is of no relevance to this discussion. Okay? I have never gone up to a stranger's child or a family friend's child and tried to touch him in that fashion, kiss them, do stuff like that. I've never, ever done that. Nobody in my sphere of family, men or women, have ever done that. It is not normal. I don't go to my coworkers' kids and try to nuzzle them and smell them and kiss them and grope them and tweak their nipples and rub my crotch behind their head. Oh, I would never let Biden close to my son. Oh, if I had a son or daughter, hell no. Hell no. I wouldn't let them near anybody. I wouldn't let someone like him near anybody. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you're even defending this sort of behavior. It's disgusting. Listen, if you're okay with your kid being groped and being inappropriately touched by an old man, I honestly feel bad for your child. That's all I can say. You're defending his behavior. Yes, I am going to shame you for that. There is no way you can defend this behavior. I'm not going to say it's okay to defend this person, and I'm not going to say it's okay to behave in that manner.
If you're going to defend him, yes, I'm going to shame you. Because it's not appropriate for adults to touch children in that manner. I don't know shit. Me? Or are you talking to the other troll? Maybe I don't. If you're talking to me, all I can say is maybe I don't know shit, but I do know one thing. I do know that normal adults don't touch people that way. That is not appropriate behavior, especially for a public figure. Okay? And if you're defending that, that's questionable. I mean, again, the fact is this, okay? In that particular picture with the green socks, let's take a look at that one. I can understand what you mean by it being okay if he was maybe his grandfather, this child's grandfather. Because people hold kids that way. I don't like holding kids that way. I don't know why people want to hold kids that way. I think there's better ways to support children instead of having to, basically reach up in their crotch area. I always found that strange just myself. But he's a politician. There is no relation. There is nothing there. There's no reason for him to do that for a photo. Why would he grab a young stranger's infant by the crotch for a photo? There is no reason for him to do that. No, like I said, I understand why you would hold a child that way, and because exactly like you said, I just said that. I understand that there are situations why you would hold a kid that way. I don't think it's the most supportive way. No. Yeah, but the thing is, he's not even winning with it because Joe Biden is a stranger in that picture. And the mother was already holding the child. Why would Joe have to put his hand there? If that was the only picture, no. I wouldn't call him a pedophile only on that picture. The reason why I call him a pedophile is because we have a collage looking at you right in front of your face. There's an established pattern of behavior. And there's plenty of video as well. I've never held a kid in that manner. I never held my nieces and nephews in that manner. I never held my cousins in that manner. But like I said, if like me as a parent, all I can tell you is this. No, like I said, I get it. I get it. Well, I didn't make the collage. I can't remove that picture. The point that I'm making is this. As a parent, if I was a parent and I had to pick up my kid and I had to scoop him up in that fashion or whatever, I get that. I'm the parent. I'm not touching a stranger, first of all. I'm not doing anything sexual to the child. So I can understand that there are moments where things like that can be appropriate. I'm actually agreeing with you partially on this point, on that particular picture, because that one is open to interpretation. However, again, he is not the parent. He's not the grandparent. The mom is already holding him. He has no reason to put his hand on the kid's crotch. Zero reasons. Zero. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to argue each and every photo here. That's not what I'm going to do. Just go and just do your research. Look at the videos. At the very least, what you're going to find is this. I think so. Yeah, I think he does need to see it in motion. The videos show much more. in terms of how creepy this disgusting human being really is. So I would say look at the videos, do your own research, and you will see what we're talking about here. I mean, to me alone, the fact that just that one video that where that screenshot comes from in the lower left with the little girl with the red skirt, that right there is enough for me to say, what the hell? Let's not even look at everything else. Yes, he does, MZ. He's got that baby by the balls. If you would listen, that photo would be good in a court of law, and you know why it would be good in a court of law? Because you're establishing a pattern of behavior. No, if you look at the video, again, see, that's what I said. Look at the video. That is not her shoulder. He actually tweaks that little girl's nipple. And what's even creepier about that particular video, it's not even so much that. I mean, that's already bad enough. It's bad enough as it is. He's doing it, he's talking to other people. He's not even really like paying attention to what he's doing. It's like a subconscious thing in the video, if you notice it. His hand is moving and he's not paying attention to basically what he's doing. It's an automatic response. Because the guy's a freaking creeper. That's what it boils down to. I always feel like I'm peaking too much with my microphone. Am I peaking a lot? Am I getting distorted? I'm gonna try and turn my gain down a little bit. I feel like I'm getting distorted here. I don't know. So if you don't listen, you don't have to believe me. You don't need to believe me. Just go ahead and look at videos. Look at all the stuff that he's done. And then you come back to me. His hand, I don't know what you're talking about because a girl's, the hand is almost at her waist. A shoulder is not like a couple inches from the waist. Well, then look at the videos, all right? Look at the videos. You don't want to believe me, don't believe me. Defend the pedophile. I don't care. Go ahead. You're the one that's on record here defending a pedophile. Then do your own research. If you, again, like I said, if you don't want to believe me, this is a sampling. It's not, this is just an idea. This right here alone just gives you an idea of how creepy he is. It's not a complete body of proof. It's not a complete evidentiary body here. And I'm not gonna do an entire, like I said, I'm not gonna do an entire stream on this asshole. Maybe one day I can do an entire stream and show the unequivocal proof that I'm talking about here. No, the one with the red dress. No, I'm talking about the girl next to that one. I'm talking about the girl. There's the black top and the red skirt. And plus, the way this is set up, you won't be able to see my mouse anyways. Black glove. Oh. No, I'm not talking about that. His other hand is on her chest. Do you see where his left hand is? His left hand is on her chest. Oh, there you go. Watch the videos. I'm not going to put them on my stream. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I mean, I get it. The on video, it's not like the highest resolution in the world as well. These aren't super high resolution photos, so it's not like you can see a super duper amount of detail. But the point is, there is this pattern of behavior that he has. Okay, there's a pattern of behavior. He touches, rubs, tweaks, sniffs, nuzzles, tries to kiss people all the time. The guy's disgusting. And anyways, I'm going to take this photo off here because I don't want to see this asshole anymore. And I want him to sully up my stream. So I'm gonna call him for what he is. He appears to me to be a pedophile, so I'm gonna call him a pedophile. That's what it boils down to. His son is a pedophile as well. So drinking more of my coffee. But going back to the original topic that I was talking about, which was Dr. Seuss, I take umbrage and issue with, you know, this kind of cancel culture bullshit. To me, that doesn't serve any purpose. There's zero evidence to show to me that reading Dr. Seuss books has turned anyone into a raging racist. Like when I read Green Eggs and Ham, I didn't read the last page of Green Eggs and Ham, turn the cover over, put the book away, and go, "Oh, those damn Jews! Oh, those darn blacks!" No. I just finished. When I finished reading Green Eggs and Ham, I can actually tell you what I was thinking about. I was like, that doesn't seem healthy. Green Eggs and Ham don't seem like something anybody should be eating. It's just pretty creepy in general. It's pretty gross that he's just touching and stroking and groping people. Going back, like I keep going back and forth between the stupid Joe Biden pedophile thing. So I don't know. To me, I find it dumb that this whole cancel culture thing is a thing. To be honest with you, I this whole cancel culture that we have in this day and age, to me, is a very, very bad thing. This is the equivalent of what Hitler did with the Nazis. He would declare things like degenerate art, for example, book burnings, and there was movies that he wouldn't have let people see. And I'm not saying that books can never be appropriate. Like there are never situations where books can be inappropriate, or there's never situations where movies can be inappropriate. There are. And there are books and movies that are reflections of their time as well. And I think that if you look at things, if you want to be more educated of the world around you and the history of humanity, and you want to be have a more evolved way of thinking, okay, I would think it would behoove anyone to not necessarily censor things, not necessarily cancel things. Like if you look at the wartime cartoons for Warner Brothers, for example, during World War II, where there was propaganda on both sides, and you had propaganda from America that had cartoons that portrayed the Japanese in a certain way, portrayed the Germans in a certain way, portrayed Mussolini and the Italians in a certain way. I think that, for example, that's actually very educational. Could it be very much offensive with the offensive stereotypes? Sure, but that was the whole point. For example, in this particular example of what I'm saying, in this particular example, of course they're going to insult the Germans, they're going to insult the Japanese, they're going to insult the Italians because they were the enemy. They're part of the axis of evil, for example. So other books like in the medieval ages, you have materials back in the medieval ages. You have, for example, like there was this oh geez, I can't remember the name of the dude now. There was a guy who did was one of the first original travel guys, where he would go around and travel and write about his travels. And he visited, I think it was some Greek dude. He went over to like Egypt or northern Africa, and he saw like some sort of tribal thing where this shaman or whatever, this woman, a priestess, whatever she was engaging in bestiality with a goat, and he was scandalized. Okay, so if someone looks at that material now and goes, "Oh, well, that's offensive to people from North Africa," because he's saying that everybody that they're degenerate, that they engage in bestiality. We should just burn all those. We should eliminate those. Why? I mean, it's a dumb way of thinking when if there's something that you don't like, you just want to eliminate it from your presence. So I don't know. I don't think that it's a good way of thinking that the first impulse that you get on anything that you deem racist or you deem inappropriate or you deem bad, your first reaction is to just eliminate it from the planet. So I would say it's more intellectually evolved to be able to view something in context. First of all, for something that is legitimately more inappropriate versus being able to distinguish when something is inappropriate and say, okay, this is inappropriate. It maybe had a place at one time, but it's something that we can learn from and better ourselves from instead of just eliminating it. So that's my stance on that. I think censorship of this sort of kind, this canceling of people that can't even defend themselves too, like because Dr. Seuss is dead, for example. It's not like someone could go to him and say, what exactly were your intentions when you were doing this? Or what exactly were you thinking when you put this together? Or do you regret doing that? Or something like that's the thing. A lot of times when you go back into the past, it's very, 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 very easy to find things that are like, oh my goodness, how could you do that? That's inappropriate. Stuff that happened 50, 60 years ago. And you know that people 50, 60 years ago were not even close to thinking and behaving, and the society and culture and everything was not even remotely close to what it is today. Well, I don't call okay, since this pedophile thing keeps on going in chat, let me address it one more time. Let me just address that one more time. I don't call everybody a pedophile. I don't know what other people do on this platform, But I know what I do on this platform. I don't do that. Well, a lot of people do water it down. You're right on that one, Troll 4A. I'm not I don't disagree with you that people throw around these words too much. People throw around the word racist too much. People throw around the word pedophile too much. People throw around the word Nazi too much. Things of that nature. So what on Kraken? What are you guys talking about? What's XRP? What are you guys talking about? But anyways, the point is this. I do think that people have been throwing around those kind of words way too much. And it had crypto, right. Gotcha, thank you. But what I'm saying is I do think people have thrown around those words too much. I agree with that. I do think that if you're gonna call someone a racist, for example, if you're gonna call someone a Nazi, you're gonna call someone a pedophile, you're gonna call someone a rapist, you're gonna call someone anything, you need to be accurate. If you call someone a rapist, they have to be a rapist. Like Bill Clinton is a rapist. All right. There is enough evidence and corroboration in the story of Juanita Hill and the other people that he sexually harassed and abused, basically, that you could reasonably assume that is correct, that actually happened. Tara Reid accused Biden of rape. Her story seems plausible. There is corroboration in her story. Other people that corroborate. There's evidence, but nobody wants to talk about that. So could someone reasonably call Biden also a rapist? Possibly. He actually had shirts that said Bill Clinton is a rapist. Okay, I gotta hand it to Alex Jones. He's pretty damn funny. I think he is a child predator, though. He is a child predator, though. I mean, you may think that I'm belittling it, but I'm calling it because I'm saying it because I feel this needs to be addressed. I feel that people need to know who they installed as a dictator. I think people need to know who they've been supporting for 10, 20, 30, 40 years if you're a Democrat and a liberal. You need to know that you supported someone you gave your money to, or you supported the party, or you supported the party that supported him. Whatever your support system was for him to be where he is now today for 40 years of being in politics, 45 years of being in politics, you enabled this. Yeah, that would be reasonable. That would be reasonable for if you had an FBI that weren't a bunch of corrupt cunts. That would be a reasonable thing to do, to go, okay, listen, there's a lot of allegations of inappropriate behavior. There's enough cause to open an investigation. Just the quid pro quo stuff that you hear from China and with Hunter Biden. And now you have Hunter Biden doing stuff in the freaking White House. Well, listen, you don't want to call that a child sexual predator? Fine, it's your choice. I will, because he is. I'm not going to mince words, and I'm not going to pretend that what he's doing is appropriate. And by not calling out what he is, I find that equally egregious. That's what it boils down to for me. It's high time that people stood up and put a firm foot on the ground about this sort of thing. Yeah, but there's a difference. There's degrees. Okay, there's different degrees of being a deviant. Okay, Bush, for example, did not use an intern as a humidor. Neither did Trump. Trump did nothing inappropriate while in the Oval Office. There's varying degrees of degeneracy here. It isn't a monolithic thing that, you know, you either are degenerate and you do everything or you don't. There's different levels of it. It is a power thing for sure, yeah. So, I mean, you can complain about the fact that I'm using that terminology. If you listen to my streams regularly, you know that I don't use that terminology lightly. I don't call everybody a racist. I don't call everybody a rapist. I don't call everybody a pedophile. Oh, by far Clinton. I would say Clinton is by far more disgusting because there's actual credible rape allegations. He used an intern as a humidor in the Oval Office and he perjured himself. Oh, Clinton sold cocaine too. Oh, goodness. I wasn't even aware of that one. A lot of the allegations against Trump, I haven't seen evidence to back up a lot of the allegations that made against Trump. There are allegations made against him. And he could be, it could be that the allegations are true. But so far, you have two presidents, Clinton and Trump. You have one that actually did inappropriate acts in the Oval Office, while the other did nothing. You had one with an intern that he put cigars inside her, and the other did not. Maybe so. He may be a degenerate and he may be disgusting, but again, there's varying degrees. If you're just kind of like a gross old man that just goes around and being semi inappropriate, that's one thing. When you're putting cigars in your interns, well, he actually kicked out Epstein though. See, that's the thing. Trump may have this kind of slimy schmoozing that he does, but Trump also has his limits. And Clinton did way more with Epstein than Trump. Trump actually kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and banned him from Mar-a-Lago. I'm just calling it. I'm just saying what happened. You're comparing two different things. That's all I'm saying. I actually think he does, because if he kicked out Epstein, whatever his limits are, they may be few and far between, but he has some. It appears so. It appears so. I don't know. And so they were good friends and party friends, yet he banned him from Mar-a-Lago and kicked him out when he learned more about what Epstein was doing. That there's a disconnect there, sir. It could be that too. It could be that he saw it was bad for him to be around Epstein. It could have been, it could have been a completely narcissistic and personal reason for him to do it. I never heard of anything like that. You'd have to show me a link that talks to me about some sort of deal that he had with Epstein when it comes to real estate. I've never heard of anything of that. This is new to me. Regardless, like I said, even if Trump did it for personal reasons, he still separated himself from Epstein one way or the other. Because there are people that corroborated the story. There are people that corroborated the story that Trump removed him from Mar-a-Lago. kicked him out because he was acting inappropriately. Multiple people recount that story. Well, I would need again. I would need to see a link about that. And then if it's an auction, if it's a public auction and Trump went there and got the property, then I'm sorry. That to me seems very dumb between two people that have a lot of money. If Epstein got so angry over that, that sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. That really sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. That would sound like stupid thing that rich people do to fuck with each other, and it wouldn't sound like something that they would end their communication over something so dumb as that and seemingly trivial as that. All I can tell you is that there were reports and there were articles and corroborating stories about how Trump kicked out Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. That's all I know. But I mean, we're going off into a big tangent here because this isn't about Trump. No matter how bad Trump is, okay, it's not about Trump. It's not this whataboutism is really dumb. The guy had a fucking island. I really doubt that some real estate would drive such a wedge between them. Oh, please stop. That's just bullshit, and you know it. Oh my god, the guy owned a fucking island. Yeah, and he would get oh so pissed off over a little bit of property in an auction. Shut the fuck up, please. The point is this: it's not about Trump. Trying to turn this into a whataboutism and trying to say, well, you know, Clinton is bad, Bush is bad, this is bad, that's bad, doesn't take away from the fact that Biden is a piece of shit. It doesn't take away the fact that, you know, Biden and his son have done incredibly inappropriate things. I'm not defending Trump. I didn't even bring him up. You're the one that brought him up. All I am saying is, listen, if you've listened to my stream before, I don't know if you listened to my stream before, you have heard me say that Trump is a dumbass. And I've called out Trump for being a dumbass on more than one occasion. I mean, even just this week, I called him out for being a dumbass because I think the super PAC idea, for example, is really stupid. I don't know if Trump is a scumbag or not. All I can say about Trump is this, okay? This is the only thing I'll say about Trump. I have heard two sides. Okay? All I know is that there are two sides that I've heard about Trump. There are many people that praise him. They have given him awards about his like contributions to the black community and all that kind of stuff. He has been a mainstay in New York and the media. He was a media darling for a long time. They had interviews with him, Oprah, all this kind of stuff. So on one side, you have a group of people that say that he was a really nice guy, really wonderful guy, all this kind of stuff. On the opposite side, you have people that say stuff like that. He's a scumbag. He's a dirtbag. He's sleazy. He's this. He screws people out of business deals. He screws people out of real estate. He doesn't pay his bills. Whatever. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think that there are some things about him that people like. Possibly. Well, hold on. Let me address that in just a moment. I say that there's truth in the middle. I think that, you know, listen, am I going to be sad? Am I going to be sad that Trump screwed a pedophile like Epstein out of a real estate deal? No, I'm not going to be sad about that. I think that when you're in that echelon of society, there's going to be some levels of degeneracy and scumbaggery and sleaziness that you're going to have to engage in. So it wouldn't be. I mean, he was like a rock star. Okay, he was like a rock star. So when you have people like rock stars, they have groupies. They bang women left and right. They do drugs. They engage in sleazeball, degenerate behavior. Sure. Did Trump engage in that? Absolutely. I don't think he didn't. I'm sure he did. But to me, I make a distinction between that sort of rock star degeneracy, which is still degeneracy. Nobody's saying it's not degeneracy. It's still degeneracy, versus groping kids, going on the Lolita Express multiple times, like the Clintons did. Doing way more inappropriate stuff, like inappropriate stuff in the White House. So as bad as Trump may be, and there's probably a lot of truth in a lot of the stories. I think there's truth on both sides. As bad as Trump may be, I don't see him doing what Biden did. I don't see him doing what Clinton did. I don't see him just groping people on camera. It may not be a given, but what I'm saying is in the stuff that he was he was basically, like I said, a rock star. You have that kind of mentality, that kind of behavior. Well, yeah, I mean, go ahead. I'm sure there's some pictures out there. I've seen some pictures where some pictures are a little questionable too with Trump. Sure. I've seen that out there too. But nowhere near the level of Biden. And he didn't perjure himself lying about putting a cigar in his intern's hoo-ha. And some of those pictures that I've seen some people, like, they have his daughter sitting on his lap. There's nothing necessarily. I don't necessarily find anything super inappropriate about that particular picture that I've seen, because it's just a daughter sitting on her father's lap. But anyways, what Troll W7 was saying, like, could you say that about Biden though? I mean, in a certain way, yeah. That's why I'm saying, to me, it's not just that. That's why to me, there's varying degrees. You have in that echelon of society, when you have that power, that money, that influence, whatever, the likelihood of you being a degenerate is definitely higher, from what I've seen, but from what the evidence shows me. I don't know. I don't know. See, I think it's varying degrees. And that's why I would say, like I told you, I would say the same thing about Trump. Look at the videos. Look at the videos relating to these photos. And that's why I was saying about the videos of Biden too, because photos aren't necessarily enough. So I'm not going to say that. Listen, everybody knows that Trump is no angel. Yeah, but the question about this here, okay? The question about this, about with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, you have to look about when these photos were made. And you also have to see if this was before, like if this was after he stopped communicating with Epstein and he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, then you have to wonder, did that happen after? These all seem to be around the same period. So if he removed himself from that circle, what parrot statue? I don't think a daughter sitting on the lap of her father is automatically inappropriate at any age. I think the point is this. It's kind of like the whole issue of picking up a child, an infant, and putting your hand between their legs. You know, lifting them up that way. It's the same discussion with that. There are times when there's nothing wrong with that. It's innocent. There isn't anything like particularly offensive, sexual, or anything about that. You can have a daughter sit on her father's lap, and if it's purely innocent, there's nothing wrong with it. So that's why I say, to me, I don't make assumptions. I don't even make assumptions on Biden. All I'm saying is, if you see that pattern with Biden, for example, if you look at the videos, I don't think it's that strange. If she's just sitting there for a photo or, whatever, I don't think when you're 15, you're still a child. She may look like a more developed woman, but they're still they're children. So I don't know. I would have to see video. I would have to see the context of it. I would have to see what the issue is. It may very well be inappropriate. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. But all I'm saying is, like, if you're trying to just point the finger at other elites, saying, well, they're all scumbags, so it's okay for Biden to be a scumbag. No, that's not an argument. Maybe Trump just isn't that dumb about it. Yeah, troll, you may be right. I don't know. Trump may be smarter about it. If he's a scumbag, maybe he's smarter about being a scumbag than Biden is. I don't know. But the point is, it still doesn't justify what Biden does. It doesn't. And to me, the photos of Biden are worse. The stuff that Biden has done, in my opinion, is worse. They look worse. They feel worse. They're creepier. It's more disgusting looking, in my view. So I would still say that, Biden is what he is, and it's disgusting and it's inappropriate. Regardless of what Trump does or doesn't do. I mean, last I checked, also his children aren't smoking crack off the ass of Asian hookers. Snorting crack. There's video and photo of Hunter Biden doing that. Oh, Vanity Fair, please. If that's the best you can do, I'm sorry. I can't take Vanity Fair seriously. They're called call girls, so I'm sorry, Zonnie. Did I use the inappropriate title for them? Anyways, moving on. Today is also they're hookers. I don't care. Anyways. Today is also the anniversary. Ghost says, let's be real. If you're going to snort crack, then you do it off the ass of Asian hookers. You may have a valid point there. You may have a valid point, sir. I don't engage in snorting crack, so I don't know what the best surface is. Maybe the ass of an Asian hooker may be the best surface to snort crack off of. I don't know. I think some independent study needs to be made. What do you guys think? I mean, our government funds the most ridiculous studies in the world. Anyways, you know what? I think we could actually convince the government to give us a grant on that one. It's our government is stupid enough to give us money for that. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Oh boy. But as I was saying, we have here who? Dustin who? I don't know any Dustin. But anyways, we have today is also the anniversary of the the independence of Texas, Republic of Texas. And you have a bunch of people doing, screaming their heads off like their hair is on fire, of course, saying, Texas wouldn't be like the United States wouldn't be what it is if Americans wouldn't have killed all these people for their land and blah blah blah. Nobody from here. 40 viewers? Really? Huh. Interesting. I don't think I've ever even reached 40 viewers. At least not on Bitwave. I don't know if I've reached that any level of that on any other platform I'm on, but I know I haven't reached that much on Bitwave. Not at all. So I just find it funny that people complain about, the conquering of lands just by people like America, when you had, first of all, like Native American tribes, the Indian tribes of yore, that would go around and they would be killing each other, scalping each other, conquering each other's lands, enslaving each other. You had like the in Central America, the Aztecs and the Mayas. Oh my gosh, the Mayas, they were brutal. They just conquer land after land. So I find it very funny when there's a selective outrage over what has been human behavior since time immemorial by every race, every group, every ethnicity, every empire. Everybody did it. But somehow the white guy always gets the vilification out of it. We're the imperialist. We're the colonists. We're the horrible people. Like, do you not study history at all? And I'm not saying that was wonderful. I'm not saying that wars and people dying on both sides is a wonderful thing. Absolutely not. But it's very intellectually dishonest and racist, if we want to call it that, to always vilify one group when everybody else was doing the same thing, if not in some cases worse. That's all I'm saying. It's like, if you want to complain about the conquering of lands and the raping and the pillaging and the enslavement of people, then you need to apply that equally. Hey friend, welcome to the stream. Yeah, to me, I never viewed that as stolen land, because it's not like there was something that said, okay, I have a deed for this little square of lands that says that since time immemorial it belonged to this group of people. There's no such thing. Over millennia and millennia, there has been the changing landscape of political lines and boundaries and borders of countries and lands has shifted infinitely, continuously. It's dumb. It is absolutely ignorant and dumb and stupid to say, oh, it's only bad when you people do it. It's only bad and inappropriate when you people do it because you happen to be from like a European country. If we follow that sort of logic, shouldn't we be really compensating Sicilians, for example? Do you know how many times Sicily had been conquered by so many different people? Sicily's been conquered by everybody. So if that's the case, Sicily should not even be part of Italy right now. It's a really dumb way of thinking, in my view. It's a very, very dumb way of thinking. I think it shows a lot of prejudice and hate towards a group of people just because you don't like them, and you're going to keep accusing this group of people of being the ultimate evil on this planet when everybody is engaged in the same, again, like I said, everybody's engaged in the same behaviors. It's dumb. It's just dumb. And that's also true. And Bon, many countries in Africa and the Middle East are still doing slavery and human trafficking. Human trafficking is happening all at the south of our border all the time. Yeah, and I guess because they ain't white, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's political rhetoric. That's what it is. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It's political rhetoric. It's purposely this sort of messaging is purposely used because they're trying to vilify white people. They're trying to amplify white guilt. And you have people that are idiotic and fall for this sort of thing. Like, I'm supposed to feel guilty for what people did 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago. This is the same kind of argument that people have come up to me because, I don't hide the fact that I'm Catholic. It was on my stream. It's on my bio in my social media. You had people coming up to me when I was in my university days arguing the Crusades with me, for example. And I'm like, well, first of all, everything you're saying about the Crusades is wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. But two, even if they did everything that you said, why should I feel guilty about that? I wasn't there. It's not like I was there and I said, hey guys, you shouldn't be doing that, and they did it anyways. And then I feel bad because I was like, I was a witness, and we should have stopped it, and I should have done something. Maybe I could have done more. Maybe I could have done less. I don't know. If I was there and I engaged in that sort of activities and behaviors, then I can understand people being pissed off at me about it. I didn't do shit. I did not go to any country. I did not enslave people. I did not rape, pillage, loot, riot. So I have no reason to feel guilty about that sort of behavior. And we don't even engage in that sort of behavior anymore. The last time colonies were put together was a long time ago. Nobody really does that anymore. The way countries and borders are shifting in politics nowadays, it is not the same way as it was before. It is definitely not the same way as it was before. So the fact that people try and, like, this was an argument that I got. This was an argument actually that I got into with someone. Well, argument. It was supposed to be a debate, and they were too retarded, I guess would be the appropriate word. They're being too obtuse about the definition of imperialism. Because they kept conflating the definition of imperialism, saying America is being imperialist. We're engaging in imperialism, and I had a whole semantic debate about this with this individual. At the end, I had to basically slap him upside the head with the Webster's Dictionary because he was using the inappropriate definition for his argument, when everybody and their grandma uses the standard definition for imperialism. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? You're just purposely being obtuse because you're trying to win an argument off of a ridiculous interpretation of what the word imperialism means because it fits your narrative, not because it actually reflects what reality is about imperialism. So yeah, that debate didn't really end very well because at the end I just, threw my hands up and I said, you know what, you're just dumb. I can't have a discussion with someone who's purposely being ignorant and obtuse about a subject, and who's refusing to use the actual definition of a word because they're trying to make up a definition just to fit their own narrative. It doesn't work that way. So, ending my rant about that, I want to say, hey, Texas, you were a republic once. Maybe you should think about it again. But fix your grid. Fix your power grid first. It's probably your Wi-Fi. I think I don't know. Let me check my connection. No, my connection has been pretty solid, sir. I'm sorry, friend. It might be your Wi-Fi. Do you have third world Wi-Fi, sir? Are you in a third world country? I hope you get that resolved, The other thing that I wanted to talk about here is that there are a couple news items I want to go over. I mean, VPNs will do that. Yeah. So let's go over a couple last news items here because it's around lunchtime for me. I need to get myself situated. So the last item in my title is talking about QAnon, which it's kind of funny that everybody keeps calling it QAnon because, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong. My knowledge isn't. There's not really a thing that is called, QAnon. It's Q, and then anon. I don't know why they keep merging those together. I mean, am I wrong on this? And they're only like I find it funny that these Q and anon people are getting so much attention when they're a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of these conspiracy theorists, and nobody. I don't even think they have like a 2-digit percentage of people that actually believe anything they say. Okay, that's cool, friend. Good to know that you're good. But QAnon followers, this title from The Sun, this is says QAnon followers push theory Trump will be made president again next week after military investigation into Biden. I mean, there's a reason why I called them Qtards. It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb that these people just latch on to this nonsense. They're saying that March 4th is going to be the date where they believe Trump will somehow be reinstalled as president. It's not going to happen. All right? QAnon people, if there's any QAnon people out there, please pull your heads out of your ass. That's not going to happen. But this article obviously has its own biases because they're talking about falsehoods about the election being stolen, pushed by blah blah blah. No, the election was stolen. There's plenty of proof of fraud. You already had over, I think it was 170 people or something like that. Over 120 people arrested in Texas. I think it was 170 was the total relating to voter fraud. You have 170,000 people removed from the voter rolls in Michigan, right? So you have that. So it's dumb. It's just dumb, and it's very tiring. It's very tiring that the media keeps latching on to this bullshit as if that is the mainstream conservative view of things. It is not. And most people like myself view Q as what they are, just a bunch of conspiracy nutter butters. They're retards. And nobody wants that to have that represent them. That's really what it boils down to. So here's another news item that I wanted to talk about. Actually, I saw regarding CPAC and Trump's speech. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I did not actually hear Trump's speech from beginning to end. I saw clips of it, heard about it. Q is the Operation Trust 2.0. I'm not familiar with Operation Trust, so I don't know what to tell you regarding that. All I can say is that I don't think that I'll take a look there. Let me just click on that Wikipedia. I don't think that they serve any positive purpose at this point. I think the Q people, they need to move on. Oh, commie bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Trump's CPAC speech because you have Yahoo News, which is a joke in and of itself. You have Yahoo News that says, fact check 5 falsehoods Trump repeated at CPAC. So let's go over these. Let's see how false these falsehoods really are, okay? Let's take a look at these. I wanted to, and I haven't even read this article beforehand, so we're doing this live as Bill O'Reilly said, fuck it, we'll do it live. So I'm just going to read this here, see what they're saying, what their claims are, and see if in fact this quote fact checking is accurate. So let's start. So here we go. The election was rigged is the first point, obviously. So let's see what the claim was. Trump says that if we had a fair election, the results would have been much different. And the fact check says that the 50 states certified the election results, and both states and federal judges rejected scores of court challenges in the Trump campaign. Though isolated cases of fraud and irregularities were uncovered, none came anywhere near the widespread level that would have been required to alter the result. That actually is false. This is the quote facts. No, if you had 170,000 people removed from the rolls, for example, in Michigan, that would have flipped Michigan. You now have finally a court that is allowing to look into Arizona, for example. We still don't know. This right here from Yahoo News right here is bullshit. We don't know if the results would have been flipped. We don't know that. And with some of the numbers that I've seen, like what I just mentioned, the 170,000 people removed from the rolls that shouldn't have been on the rolls and shouldn't have voted. And if you look at some of the latest stuff that Steven Crowder has done, for example, he's been going over all these fake addresses of people who voted, and their address were vacant lots, parking lots, roads where there were no residential homes, for example. So their first fact check is full of shit, basically. So that's already, we're 1 for 1. Let's move on. Let's see the Trump claim number 2. The Trump claim number 2 is the Democrats used the China virus as an excuse to change all the election rules without the approval of the state legislatures, making it therefore illegal. The facts, according to Yahoo News, quote facts. Many states, including some controlled by Republicans, expanded mail-in voting in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Those changes were sparked by the real concerns about the threat posed by the virus, which has killed more than 500,000 Americans. The U.S. Constitution leaves the matter of how elections are conducted to state legislatures. While in most cases the changes in mail-in voting were not directly approved by the state legislatures, those legislatures had empowered their respective secretaries of state to make such emergency changes through legislation they approved. That's not entirely accurate. That's not entirely accurate because the way the laws are written and the way that the federalism is supposed to work in our country and how the Constitution says that the legislatures alone are supposed to do that, there is question into who changed the rules, when, how, and why, and all that. So this also fact checked is bullshit. And this whole mail-in ballots, like this mail-in voting thing, just because it was response to the coronavirus pandemic doesn't invalidate what Trump said. It was an excuse. And they did not put in verification. Even if there was legitimate reason to do completely mail-in ballots. Okay, let's go with that. I don't know. Let's go with this argument. Let's say completely legitimate concern. There's a horrible virus going around with a, over 99% survivability rate. But just fuck that for the moment. You want to tell me that justifies putting in a mail-in ballot scheme with zero verification? You don't follow chain of custody. You arbitrarily stop counting. You do all this other bullshit because you don't want to verify where the ballots are coming from, who they're coming from, how many votes there are. It very much sounds like low information the case of low information fact checkers to me too, Gianni. Yeah, it's ridiculous. This is, well, I mean, we're talking about Yahoo News. I don't think I could have very high expectations for Yahoo News. So this is ridiculous. This fact check is another. So we're 2 for 2 that the fact check is just full of shit. Let's move on to fact check number 3. So they're saying that the Trump claim is this: the election was rigged, and the Supreme Court and other courts didn't want to do anything about it. And I like that they include in the claim, within parentheses, prompting chance of you won from the crowd. I don't know why that has to be part of the claim. I find that interesting that they find it necessary to put in the crowd reaction, because that has nothing to do with the claim. So the facts. The courts consistently dismissed the election challenges filed by the Trump campaign, though most of the dismissals were based on a lack of standing, the fact Trump lamented in his speech. Others were rejected on merits, meaning that he did not present sufficient evidence of fraud to convince the judge to throw out the results. The Supreme Court refused to hear lawsuits brought by Texas and joined by other GOP-controlled states that sought to throw out the results from their swing states. The High Court declared Texas did not demonstrate judicially cognizable, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, interest in the matter in which another state conducts its elections. Though Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito said the court should have heard the case, it said it could not have granted Texas' request to change the election. The Supreme Court also declined to hear 2 cases challenging Pennsylvania's absentee ballots. One case did not involve enough ballots to affect the outcome, and the other challenging a state law passed in 2019 was determined by the state Supreme Court to have come far too late, even if the court had granted an extraordinary request to throw out Pennsylvania's votes. So they claim that Biden would still have won the Electoral College votes to become president. So this is a mixed bag here. So yes, some cases were thrown out because of evidentiary, but that's even questionable. The lack of evidence in some of the cases is even questionable for the simple reason that you didn't have any real discovery. So you didn't really have any real discovery in the cases because a lot of these cases were dismissed on technicalities and standing. And I don't think that a proper investigation was done at all. You have cases that were slow walked. You have like this issue with the Supreme Court. They should have heard that case. Texas and 26 other states went along. I think it was 26. My number may be inaccurate on that one, but I mean, over 20 states, along with Texas, wanted this to be examined because you can't have one state just completely doing fuck all, screwing over other states in an election. I don't think that's how you want to run elections moving forward. That would be my thought process. I don't know if it's your thought process, but it's definitely my thought process that you wouldn't want to do that. There was clearly shenanigans happening, for example, in Pennsylvania. There's clearly shenanigans happening in Michigan. There's clearly shenanigans happening in other places. Just look at Georgia, for example, the bullshit that happened there. So there's enough reason. And this is the thing that really pisses me off about these whole arguments about idiotic court cases and the dismissal argument. The thing that annoys me about that, it has a lot to do with the fact that the election of a country, the faith in the electoral system of a country is fundamental. If there is any doubt, regardless if it could change the outcome or not, regardless of that, that really should be investigated no matter what. Even if it's one vote that was fraudulent, it should be investigated. It should be audited. You want to ensure faith in the electoral system. Do you think that I'm going to go vote moving forward? You think that there's a percentage of people in the future that are going to vote again? Hell no. I'm not voting anymore until I see any. If I don't see any reason that my vote is even legitimately counted, legitimately taken care of, the system is legitimate and has integrity. If I see none of that, fuck it all. I'm not going to bother. My vote is meaningless. They can choose whoever the fuck they want as leader because anyways, nobody represents me to begin with. So moving forward, this fact check, it's not much of a fact check, in my view. There's a mixed bag. Some of the stuff that they say, yeah, I'm not contesting that, but some of the stuff that they're saying as a fact check is bullshit. So, what number were we on? I don't even know what number we were on. 1, 2, 3. This was 3. So it's kind of 3 for 3 that the fact check is bullshit. So let's moving on. Number 4. We seem to have more votes than we have people. In Detroit and in Pennsylvania, they had hundreds of thousands of more votes than they had people voting. The fact check says that there were 503,934 people that had voting age population in Detroit. According to the city's clerk website, 250,138 Detroit residents voted. 2.6 mail-in ballots were counted after more than 3 million voters requested mail-in ballots. But in total, about 6.9 million votes were counted in Pennsylvania presidential election, and the number of registered in Pennsylvania voters were 9 million. See, I would need to see the source for that. They don't provide a source. Well, hold on. They actually do provide one link or two links. Let me check this out here real quick. Because the problem was this: there was evidence of, and I gotta remember where I found that information. There was this information that I saw that a certain number of mail-in ballots were sent out, and they received more in return. And that was in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to see. I would have to see where that is. So this I don't know about Detroit. They may the fact checkers may be correct about Detroit on that one. I don't know. Pennsylvania, I remember hearing and reading, and I gotta find that link in the article now because they has sourced information from that too, where you had more mail-in ballots coming back. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that one. So I'm not gonna say 4 for 4 on that one because this one the I would say that the judgment on this one is still out, because I don't know if that's entirely accurate what they're saying. So I don't know. That one's an I don't know. I'm not gonna say that it's a bullshit fact check. The last point, Trump's claim, it's a disaster. The blackouts we saw in California last summer and all the time in the windmill calamity that we witnessed in Texas. The great state of Texas, we love Texas, but it's so sad when you look at it, that'll just be the start. How bad is wind power? So there has been many articles written about this. So here they're saying their fact check is that the traditional sources of energy, such as natural gas, coal, and nuclear systems, were responsible for nearly twice as many outages in Texas as frozen wind turbines and solar panels, according to the Electrical Reliability Council of Texas, which operates the state's power grid. The grid operator reported that of the 45,000 total megawatts of power that were offline statewide during the winter storm, about 30,000 consisted of thermal sources, and 16,000 came from renewable sources. Wind only applies about a quarter of the electricity in Texas. So that's true, but the fact is that 1/4. So this fact check is one of those kind of fact checks where it's like technically true, but it doesn't dispute the claim. So I would still say that this is bullshit fact check, and this is the reason why. So you have plenty of evidence that I've seen in Europe. If you look at what's going on with Germany with wind power and solar power. What you have in Texas, in California, you have a lot of these rolling blackouts and a lot of issues with the power grid. And part of it is human failure. There's no doubt about that. It's human failure in securing weather, winterizing, what have you. It's a failure on the human being's part to make sure that their systems are working properly. You could have failures on nuclear as well. But the point is this. You're relying on, 1/4 is wind. And another 40% was natural gas, and then everything else was the more traditional stuff. So this number is deceiving when they say that 30,000 consisted of all the thermal sources, gas, coal, nuclear plants. The way the natural gas was set up and the wind was set up, most of the power depended on that. And if these things weren't set up properly, you had other gas and nuclear plants. You had these coal plants that were just shut down, and they couldn't get them back up. And I think what the same happened with another nuclear plant that they tried to fire back up, or if I recall reading correctly, I may be wrong on that one, but I know for a fact that they tried to fire up these old coal plants to try and compensate for the fact that wind had failed them. And wind had failed them even because of their own failure of winterizing. No doubt. But the problem is relying so much on these technologies and not having a proper system in place. It's dumb. They're not reliable. They're not consistent. And then on top of that, they're not even they're not really that quote renewable. Because all the materials that you're doing, that in the manufacturing process of all, it's the same argument with electric cars. Electric cars have so much manufacturing byproduct waste. You're really not doing anything in terms of carbon footprint, pollution, stuff like that. Sure, you may be reducing exhaust in a certain part of a city if more people drive electric cars, but at the end of the day, your landfills are going to be filled more with batteries from those cars. You have byproducts for the solar panels. You have all this, chemical byproducts for winterization of the windmills, all that stuff. So I can tell you this. This fact check is also somewhat bullshit. So it's 4 out of 5. I would say the only one that holds a little bit of water would be the Detroit and Pennsylvania thing that Trump said, because there's mixed information here that they're not covering everything. It seems they're talking about a couple things. I don't know about Detroit, but like I said, I do know that Pennsylvania, they sent out more ballots. I mean, they sent out a certain number of ballots. They got back more than what they had sent out, and that's a fact. So this fact check, part of this, it's partial bullshit. So they claim that this article is like 5 falsehoods. No, it's more like 4.5 things that Trump said that are pretty much true, and maybe one of them is hyperbolic and it's not 100% accurate. That's what I would argue. Really. Oh goodness, it's already 12:30. All right, we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. This bullshit 1.9 trillion stimulus bill. It seems like the Democrats are dropping the minimum wage part of it. I mean, of all the things that they're dropping, that's the thing that they're dropping. There's so much other bullshit in this whole thing. The stimulus, there shouldn't even be a stimulus bill. All that there should be just a COVID relief bill that only gives people COVID relief. Period. This pork-laden wish list of a Democrat bill is nothing but bullshit. It is typical political nonsense that they always pull. They don't care about you. They don't care that they destroyed your business. They don't care about the fact that you don't have a job, money, your savings are all gone. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It seems like it seems like no matter what, the last people that they give a shit about is you. They don't care. The latest saga with Cuomo as well, and then there were 3. Now you have someone else accusing unwanted advances at a wedding by Cuomo. This rabbit hole, like, this guy is digging his political grave deeper and deeper. Like, more information that comes out, the deeper that hole gets. Doesn't surprise me. It's pretty hilarious. To be honest with you, it's pretty hilarious in my view. And now you have like assholes like Christopher Wray saying that, he's not gonna say that if Antifa had anything to do with the riots. He refuses to acknowledge that. And there's video evidence of that too. That's the thing. You have people dressed in black as Antifa putting on gear, MAGA gear, to make them look like they're MAGA gear. And they listen. It's obvious. They said they were gonna do that shit. They said they were gonna infiltrate. They've been doing that for a long time. This isn't anything new. So it's bullshit to think that they had zero to do with what happened on January 6th. Anyways, I think this is a good spot to end my stream, kids. I'm gonna let you guys go. Before I let you go, let me do some shameless self-promotion, as I usually do. So please follow me. If you like what you hear, if you enjoy the stream, if you like my going off on rants, please consider following and sharing, and go on all the different platforms that I'm on. I'm on Twitter, Gab, Minds, Float. And I'm on Telegram as well, so please go on there, because basically I will I pretty much kind of archive my stuff through Telegram as well. So if anything ever happens, then I'm gonna get like removed from Twitter or what have you, because most likely I'm gonna get banned eventually.
Um, that's the best place to find out the archive of my tweets. Excuse me. But you can find me on all those different platforms. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, and whatever. Support me if you can. If you want to buy me a coffee, send me a crypto, or drop me a lemon on DLive or anything like that. It's much appreciated. I can't do this without your support. That's really what it boils down to. If I don't have your support, eventually my streams are gonna end, and honestly, I've been even thinking about ending them anyways. I feel like I'm just speaking to a void. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna be doing it for now. I'm gonna do it though. But if I have your support and if you guys help me grow and you guys follow and everything, that'll keep me on here. I'll keep doing it for you, the people, as Bane would say. So help me out, and I'll be here indefinitely. So I want to thank each and every one of you on all the different platforms that I'm on for listening to me and supporting me, and I will let you go with my usual little sign off. Remember, kids, don't be complacent. We'll see you tomorrow.